Lexington police officer finds himself on the other side of the law. More on the allegations that have him facing charges.
A man received the maximum punishment after admitting he killed his girlfriend, while the victim's family still isn't happy with the outcome.
2 women have been arrested in Madison County. Police say one of them overdosed in front of her 7-year-old son.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5.
He normally enforces the law, but today a police officer is the one facing charges for what officials say he did during an arrest.
Lexington police officer James Norris has also been suspended for his alleged actions. WKYT's Garrett Weimer is live now to show us what Norris is accused of doing in our top story at 5.
Norris is suspended with pay after police officers say he acted improperly while making an arrest. This is Norris's personnel file, which we obtained through an open records request through with Lexington Division of Police. His file shows that he's been with Lexington Police since December of 2007, and much of his file is made up of letters of commendation, whether it's from his superior officers or even from the public. But police tell us their investigation found that Officer Norris, quote, with intent to harass and intimidate, had forceful physical contact with a suspect while making an arrest on January 13th. Norris is now charged with harassment with physical contact, no injury, and second-degree official misconduct. Both of those charges are misdemeanors. Now, Officer Norris has been suspended with pay, stripped of all of his police responsibilities until his case goes through the courts or until police administration determines his future with the department. Live in downtown Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Garrett, thank you. In a statement, the Division of Police says, quote, Lexington police leadership takes very seriously reports of officer behavior that does not meet agency standards and guidelines, end quote.
A man was sentenced to 20 years in prison for killing his girlfriend. Brian Reed admitted that he killed Gypsy Reyes during a fight at her Frankfort apartment in May of 2013. Today, her family watched as a judge handed down the sentence. As WKYT's Hillary Thornton shows us, they still don't feel justice has been served.
In court for his sentencing day, it is a day Gypsy Reyes' family had hoped would come following a trial.
It would have done my sister justice.
Instead, it came following the plea deal made back in December. Initially charged with murder and eligible for the death penalty, Reed pleaded guilty to a reduced charge of first-degree manslaughter in the beating death of his girlfriend. Police found the 28-year-old, who had obtained an emergency protective order against Reed, inside her apartment back in May of 2013. Family members say she lived in fear of Reed, and more should have been done to protect their sister.
She had friends there that night that knew that she had it, and they left her there with them.
While Reed did not have anything to say while here in court at his sentencing, Judge Thomas Wingate did take some time to speak directly to Reed.
Evidently, the woman that took her life was very well thought of. Did this job 16 years, 8 years as circuit judge, and outside of Leslie Robinson, I've never had so many people file victim impacts.
A big reason the judge gave Reed the maximum sentence. However, it is obviously still not the outcome the victim's family had hoped for.
The fact that he gets to be free in 20 years and I never give my sister back.
In Franklin County, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Reed also received a 12-month sentence for that EPO violation.
Police say a mother overdosed in front of her 7-year-old son, and then just one day after his mother was rushed to the hospital, police say they arrested the child's babysitter for being high on pills. WKYT's Victor Puente has more on the charges against both women from Madison County.
The husband of one of the women charged in this incident says that child was never in danger. He says the child's mother had a seizure, but police say it was a heroin overdose. Wednesday morning, paramedics and police were called to the Quality Quarters Inn near I-75. Police say Anita Clements was rushed to the hospital and admitted to them that she had overdosed on heroin. But one of her friends says that wasn't the case.
She had a seizure, a major seizure, and I found her in the room and we called 911.
Morrison and his wife, Diana Byards, are friends of Clements. Yesterday, she took Clements' 7-year-old son to Baptist Health Richmond because he was sick. When she got there, staff called police because they said Byards was high, and police say she admitted to being on Percocet.
I can't tell you if she was high or not, but I know that when she left here yesterday with the baby, she was not high.
Morrison says she has an abscessed tooth that may have led to her problems. Court records show the investigation that followed revealed that Clemens' 7-year-old son was present when she overdosed, and that Byard had taken him to another room before police arrived. A search warrant of the room led police to syringes and spoons with drug residue. Clemens was charged with wanton endangerment, endangering the welfare of a minor, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Byard is charged with public intoxication and endangering the welfare of a minor.
I think it's all wrong.
When Annetta Clemens was taken to the hospital, police arrested her boyfriend, Anthony Salyers. His arrest citation shows he had an active warrant out of Fayette County. In Madison County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
A new trial date has been set for a man accused of killing a well-known defense attorney. Our county-by-county coverage begins in Pulaski County. Clinton in Abnett is accused of shooting Mark Stanziano to death outside his Somerset law office back in June. His trial will now be held on July 1st. A special tribute today for the Bullitt County Emergency Management Director who died in a car crash. Hundreds of first responders escorted Les Bandy's body from a Louisville hospital to the funeral home. Bandy lost control of his truck while on the way home from work yesterday afternoon. It ran off the road and flipped several times. He suffered head trauma and died at the hospital.
It is going to be a great weekend to enjoy a little time outdoors. Temperatures will be warmer and we'll get a few peaks of some sunshine. WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey's here now with an early check of your forecast. Sounds great, Chris.
Yeah, it really does, Amber. We rolled our way into the evening and things are looking pretty good out there. All things considered, we started out the day as single digits and low teens. Check out this skyline over top of Lexington as of right now. A little sun earlier, beginning to cloud back over. 40 degrees our current temperature. Humidity bone dry. Winds coming at us from the south now at 9 miles an hour. Of course, you know a southerly wind is a milder wind. Here's Live First Alert Defender. No precipitation, so I've thrown the clouds and the temperatures into the mix. And notice the farther south that we go where we have some breaks, those temperatures are into the 40s. Now the farther north and northeast that we go, only mid and upper 30s showing up from Mount Sterling, Moorhead into Ashland and Covington. The clouds continue to filter back in as we go through the next several hours. We'll see a mix of some stars and some clouds out there this evening as temperatures slowly drop into the low and mid 30s, then kind of put the brakes on with that drop tonight, courtesy of some clouds and more importantly, that southerly wind that gives us a good-looking Saturday. By the time we roll into later Sunday, some changes begin to show up, and with the 7-day forecast that includes next week, closer and closer to Valentine's Day, it's a roller coaster ride with the old temperatures. We'll show you the ups and downs when I come back in a few.
Well, in the meantime, this nicer weather is bound to get people excited for spring and summer.
So if you're ready to start thinking about getting outdoors in the spring, you might want to head down to the Kentucky Sport Boat and Recreation Show. Our Jim Caldwell is live at Rupp Arena to show us what it's all about. Hey, Jim.
Hey, you know, I'm just taking it easy here myself right now. Chris texted me earlier and he said, hey, do you want to go to the show today? Of course I want to go to the show. Look at this. I mean, I'm just taking it easy, hanging out. While he's been talking about those cold temperatures that have been in the area through the day today, and especially early this morning, a lot of us have different thoughts on our minds. We start thinking about springtime. And I'll tell you what, while the chill won't last into the weekend, it was never present here at the Sport Boat and Recreation Show going on here at Hall and Rupp Arena. And if you're like so many of us dreaming of springtime, you can begin to make dreams a reality here.
It's awesome. I mean, especially to everybody that lives in the state of Kentucky, they know how awesome and historic this Rupp Arena really is, and you know, what better way to get a good view of everything in here, you know, other than zip lining above it.
Fantastic way to view everything that they have here on this floor, at least on the floor of Rupp Arena. Of course, there's more out toward Heritage Hall as well. We'll be here tonight through 9 o'clock, tomorrow from 9 to 9, and then on Sunday, you can be here from 10 until 5 o'clock to check out all of the other things, and a lot of great things for the kids, the archery, they can get in the kayak. I can get in the kayak. It's a lot of fun, so just come over and check it out. I'm meteorologist Jim Caldwell here at Rupp Arena.
Thank you, Jim. You look way too relaxed. You need to loosen that tie. Tickets for the show, by the way, cost $10 for adults and $5 for the children.
Follow WKYT online at WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Here's a look at the most viewed stories on our website right now. People want to know more about an alleged drunk driver who hit a bus full of cheerleaders from Kentucky, a mysterious discovery in Lincoln County, and a girl who died during a head lice treatment. You can find these stories and more on WKYT.com.
TurboTax has temporarily stopped processing state tax returns. The company says they've seen an increase in fraudulent filings. They're working with a security company to investigate the problem. The state of Kentucky is holding all electronic returns because of the TurboTax problem. They say it will take closer to 2 weeks for you to get them. They hope to return to normal processing by next week. KinderCare says it will require all employees working with infants to get the measles vaccine. 5 children at a Chicago area KinderCare have been diagnosed with the illness. Nationwide, there have been 150 cases of measles in 14 states. Children under a year are too young to get the vaccine. Parents are being urged to get their child vaccinated if they're old enough.
It is a little bit disturbing that people have decided not to vaccinate their children or themselves, and that these diseases are allowed to spread in the community.
KinderCare has 3 locations here in Lexington. Well, there is just about a week to go in open enrollment under the Affordable Care Act.
As Craig Boswell shows us, officials are hoping that people sign up now instead of waiting until the last minute.
Phyllis Cumberlander needs health insurance and went to this D.C. enrollment center for help signing up.
I feel a little better than I was feeling before I left home. I should say a lot better, actually.
Cumberlander is relieved she'll soon be able to see a doctor for a nagging sinus infection.
I can't afford to go to the doctor without insurance.
This is the second year for sign-ups under the Affordable Care Act, and the deadline is Sunday, February 15th.
We've enrolled over 9.5 million people. I think what it shows us is that there's a real need for affordable health insurance.
Kevin Cunahan is the new CEO overseeing the federal enrollment website. Under his watch, signing up on healthcare.gov has gone from 76 screens down to just 16. But he says people haven't forgotten 2013's disastrous launch.
The site's not the issue. The real issue from my perspective is making sure that people don't wait until the last minute.
But not everyone has been happy with the results. Cindy Byram is a hairdresser in Arkansas and says the only plan she can afford comes with a high deductible.
I still have the $5,000 to pay before the insurance will start kicking in.
Those who missed the February 15th deadline will have to wait until the next open enrollment period to get insurance and will have to pay a fine if they don't have coverage. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Washington.
Now, people who fail to get health care coverage could face a fine of $325 or 2% of yearly income, whichever is higher. It's a way to raise awareness about heart disease. The American Heart Association's Go Red for Women Day today, and the group, along with the St. Joseph Heart Institute, offering free blood pressure checks this morning at Macy's at Fayette Mall. Each year, heart disease kills more women than all cancers combined.
Symptoms of heart disease are usually very mild. We think of fatigue and heartburn, things like that, of just everyday life, when really you have something more serious going on.
And doctors say the best way to prevent heart disease is to know your numbers, exercise more, eat right, and do not smoke.
It is time now for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. Breastfeeding your baby can help them even after they move on to other foods. Researchers found breastfed babies transition to solid foods more easily. They also have fewer stomach problems in general. They found that infants fed only breast milk, especially in the first 6 months, had more good digestion bacteria than other babies. It is a popular fitness trend these days, but new research shows treadmill desks are good for more than just your waistline. A study found people who use the walking workstations had a significant boost in memory recall. The findings suggest treadmill desks can be good for workers and businesses. Men have been pumping iron for decades. Now more women have started strength training, focusing on toned bodies over thin ones. Susan McGinnis shows us why strong is the new skinny.
Match your breathing, nice, and down.
Katie Brinkley lifted 215 pounds recently, a new high. When the teacher and single mom came to this world gym in Fairfax, Virginia nearly a year ago, lifting was the last thing on her mind.
At first I wanted to just lose weight and get skinny. I was absolutely miserable where I was.
But cardio wasn't cutting it.
I had that stuck feeling and I needed to make a change.
Trainer Anthony Tran says Katie's predicament is typical.
They just want to get skinny. You know, the main thing is thinking cardio will do it.
What do you tell them?
I tell them we got to lift weights, and we got to lift heavy weights.
I was so sore. I couldn't move for days, but I came back.
Gyms are noticing more women stepping off the treadmills and into classes that emphasize building muscle over burning calories. Classes like aerobics and Zumba are giving way to kettlebell, CrossFit, and P90X. Vita Fitness in Washington, D.C. markets the concept strong is the new skinny.
I would define it as a movement. I think it's a very positive movement for the fitness industry.
Fitness experts say strength training helps women's bodies recover faster, guards against osteoporosis, boosts immunity, and improves balance.
I feel so much better and I have a ton more energy.
And after shedding 30 pounds, Katie's found the more weight she lifts, the more weight she loses.
Good job.
Susan McGinnis, CBS News, Fairfax, Virginia.
Fitness experts say 1 pound of muscle burns an extra 50 calories at a resting state. So the more muscle you have, the more calories you burn naturally.